Everyone knows the movie Toy Story.
Of course.
I mean, it was a big hit.
Yeah.
How many times do you think your kids watched it?
The first one they're not the biggest fan of, but they like the sequels. We've seen 4 a lot. With Sporky, I think that's number 4. It's got Sporky in it.
I don't know about Sporky. What is Sporky?
Some kid makes a smiley face on a spork, and it makes it one of their favorite toys, and then it becomes a character, Sporky.
Sporky. It's like, hey, what are we going to call this character? Let's call it Sporky.
Oh, yeah, $100 million in research and development to call it Sporky.
I still like when the little light comes jumping out, the Pixar light.
That's not even the movie. That's just the commercial for the company that makes it.
I know that. Okay. Don't be looking at me like I'm an idiot. I'm saying it's not in the movie.
What was your favorite part of the movie? Oh, at the beginning when that lion roars for 20th Century Fox?
Dun, 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 dun.
I walk out right after that. Why are we bringing up Toy Story?
So mean.
Yeah.
Because Christmas is coming. And I got this press release about a brand new robot.
A new robot?
Yes. Stop making fun of me the way I say robot.
Okay.
I'm not saying robot anymore.
Did it say robot in the press release? Is this Elon Musk's robots?
No.
Oh.
It's Toy Story. Buzz Lightyear. Okay. It's innovative, they say. I'm going to get this.
Well, it's a press release. Of course it's going to say innovative.
Okay. Embodies the spirit of innovation, adventure, and imagination.
Sounds expensive.
Voice and app controlled. Here, take a look.
I'm watching.
Star Command, come in. Do you read me? Why don't they answer?
Answer the call and take command of the most interactive and authentic Toy Story experience ever launched.
Buzz Lightyear, at your service.
Enabled with in-app programming, RoboSense new Buzz Lightyear allows you to create actions and sequences with your favorite Toy Story lines.
To infinity and beyond!
Go beyond the included actions within the mobile app and create your own custom movements and sequences
we've seen
with
enough.
this simple, easy-to-use manual.
Okay, look how everybody loves it.
Sure.
Just loves it. Okay, let me tell you, before you get too excited, it's 14.6 inches tall.
Okay.
Weighs 3.7 pounds, making it a substantial and impressive figure.
Are you reading from the press release still? Okay.
For any collection.
Okay.
How much do you think said Toy Story 14-inch robot is going to be for Christmas?
So we got to think about the licensing.
Yes.
That's going to be very expensive. Also, I believe that was the original voice.
Yes.
Is that Tim Allen?
Yeah, Tim Allen.
So that's not cheap. $2,500?
Really?
Is that wrong?
Yeah.
How much is it?
I'll give you one more guess.
So am I going lower or higher?
You're like way too high.
Way too high. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know, $500?
It's exactly $600. $600.
Okay.
Close.
That's too much.
Okay, I thought for $600, there's no way I would ever buy that toy.
Here's the thing, too, is that you get your kids toys so they get off the phone. This toy is just going to put them on the phone. I saw the video. It shows it does 8 different things. I mean, now we're talking about, what, $80 a thing that it does.
Exactly. He says to infinity and beyond. And the little things come up. And then he also says, like, be careful, my laser's on.
That was very good. I like the impression. So my son got a robot Lego for
You said robot.
and he put it all together. And the same thing, you connect it to the app, and then you can control the robot through the app.
Yeah, they're like Lego Mind. Something.
Now the head of that robot is part of another spaceship. The legs are part of another house that he built.
You can't do that with this.
No, but that's the thing is that it's quirky and cool for the first, until the 27th of December?
Yeah.
And then they just do whatever they want with it.
God, you're such a buzzkill.
Oh, that's a good one. That was good. I liked it.
You know what? I came up with that one right in the moment.
See, that's why it was funnier. It wasn't written down. You didn't get into your Kim Commando. I'm about to deliver a bad joke voice. It was very natural.
I was like, oh, let me tell. You know what? Have you heard? Or
speaking of cockroaches.
I told you about cockroaches, didn't I?
What do you mean?
About the Univision guy? Oh, so my boat was the boat for the regatta.
Okay.
I didn't tell you this?
No.
Oh.
Otherwise, I'd have went, yeah, I remember.
Okay, I thought you don't need to be like polite to me like you are like with your grandmothers and like, oh no, we don't know that story. Or Barry, I was on a nuclear sub.
Before my grandfather passed away, every time I went to visit him for like a year, he would come in. He's like, oh, I need to show you something. And he would walk me over to his desk and show me the same 4 new coins he got for his coin collection every single time.
And you were excited every time.
Of course.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so are you excited? I'm going to tell the story again.
Yes.
Okay. Honest, I didn't tell you this?
No, would you please get on with it?
Okay, so my boat in Santa Barbara, they're having this big King Harbor race.
Okay.
It's a big regatta, like 150 sailboats. And so my boat is the race committee boat.
Okay.
But that means that everybody who's running the race is on my boat. And they get to bring a couple of guests.
But you mean running the function?
Yes.
Not racing. Your boat wasn't racing.
No.
Okay.
No. We were just sitting. I was just sitting there looking pretty.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't really working. Just to say. And this guy comes up to me and he's like, he has a Spanish accent. And he says to me, I know who you are. I've listened to your show. I think it's fabulous and all this other stuff. And I said, yeah. I said, so what do you do? And he says, well, I think he was part of Univision, bigwig at Univision.
Okay.
And also running some of their radio stations. And I said, that's awesome. And I said, radio has been good to me. Mm-hmm. And he said, radio is like a cucaracha. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, it never dies.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed. It never dies. Yeah.
We're knocking on Formica here.
I hope he is a soothsayer.
Hey, so on that happy note, welcome. It's Kim Commando today. It's your podcast about all things digital. This is not the Kim Commando Show. Speaking of, Whitney has asked me. She did. She stopped me on the street. She said, Kim, is this another person named Whitney? Would you believe?
It's not the same Whitney.
No, another Whitney.
A totally new Whitney.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I wonder how many Americans are named Whitney so I can figure out the odds of this actually happening.
And I said, no, it's not the show.
No.
But if you want the show, wherever you get your podcast, just search for Commando with K.
Yeah.
And you get the show. And the show's different, right?
Yeah, there's callers and news segments, and this is just us hanging out talking about tech.
And you're not on it.
No. No, I'm not. That's another difference. But yet, when I answer questions, it doesn't revolve around me. So that's why I didn't bring that up.
Oh. Are you insinuating something?
Not at all, Grandma.
Oh. Did I ever tell you that I was on a nuclear sub?
Yes, I've heard that story 1,000 times.
So what do you have?
We have Instagram, Meta,
Yes.
Facebook.
Yes.
Don't post about politics.
Nope.
Nope, they're not interested.
Nope.
And there's proof in the pudding.
Is there?
Yes.
Big proof?
Yeah, big proof.
Big pudding?
Yeah, it's normal pudding.
And don't forget to what?
Like, comment, share. If you're watching us on YouTube, first of all, thank you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, what is your problem? What are you waiting for?
No, tell them don't. Don't
No,
subscribe.
we tried that. It didn't work.
Oh, no, the numbers went up.
We had a down week compared to other ones.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, we need a new strategy.
Oh.
I'm going to neg them. I'm going to make them feel horrible so that they hit the button.
Yeah, do that. Try
Okay.
that. Make them feel guilty.
Yeah. What is your problem? Why haven't you subscribed yet? We're only like 3,000 away from 100,000. And when you do subscribe, you'll get to find out when we go live. We go live 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. When we post new shorts, new videos, new interviews, it'll all be right there. So just hit subscribe. It'll make your life so much easier.
Yes. And make sure that you like, comment, follow.
Yes.
Because that tells big tech algorithms, it tricks them.
Yeah, we want to trick the algorithm.
Yeah, we want to do that. All right, here's some things that are happening right now. 5G. You have 5G?
I think so.
Do you
It says
remember
in
when-
the corner of my phone.
Do you remember when we had 3G?
Yeah,
Remember we had
3G.
no G?
Did we have just G? Did we ever start with just G?
I think we had a G, yeah. We had no G then.
Yeah, what was it before G's?
I don't know G's.
H?
I don't
I's?
know. A.
Oh, we had some A's.
It was a modem. Went. Okay. So now we have what's coming 6G.
Well, of course.
6G. 6G is 9,000 times faster than 5G.
Okay, but I heard this same thing about 5G. That 5G was lightning speeds, and it's blah, blah, blah. I read just like the press release for the Buzz Lightyear. It's not that much faster. Mobile's not that much faster.
Well, then 4G.
Right.
Then 3G.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot faster than 3G.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you can stream videos, and they're clearer, and they're faster, clearer, but 9 times faster, you're telling me?
9,000.
Well, that's going to be noticeable.
Yes. Mr. Genius. Oh, well, that's different than 9. I mean, it was
When
9,000.
are we getting our 6Gs?
20 full-length movies in 1 second.
That's the download time. They always do that. They always compare everything to download.
Yeah, but who downloads a movie?
Nobody.
Nobody.
We stream them all.
They say it's a couple of years away.
Okay. Good thing everybody mark your calendar. We talked about it today. It's a couple of years away.
Google Flights, they have a new tab. So you go to flights.google.com,
right?
Searching for a flight, which, by the way, if you are going to be traveling around Christmas, now is the time.
Are we 91 days away?
Well, you're supposed to buy between 54 and 58 days before you arrive.
Oh, okay.
So, and then, New Year's is interesting, is that you get the cheapest flight 3 to 4 weeks before New Year's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah,
It just bucks the whole trend.
That just kind of seems like they would be gouging you at that point. Like, oh, Andrew's a loser. He ain't going anywhere for New Year's.
Oh, wait, he is. Let's jack up the prices.
There it goes. There's the cheapest tab all the way to the right.
Okay.
So now, what constitute the cheapest fare?
I'm going to say the price that's the lowest.
You are a genius.
If I got that wrong, I would feel awful.
You are so smart.
Why would you even ask that?
Are you helping your kids at their homework?
No, they're helping me. Why would you ask that? It's obvious that that's the cheapest
that's
is.
not what I was saying. I know it is by the price, you ding dong. I'm talking about like the cheapest flights are not just the price. So like, let's say you want to go to San Francisco.
Right.
You're going to go from Phoenix to Denver to Las Vegas to Los Angeles to Oakland, then to San Francisco.
Yeah, that would be pretty annoying.
Okay.
I'd pay more to avoid that.
That's what I always do. I always say just sort by like duration. I don't care how much it is. I mean, I want the shortest flight.
Sure. I used Google Flights though this summer for the first time ever.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where you been?
I don't know. It's a great question. But it saved me like $400 compared to other sites and the actual, airlines website.
They also have the price guarantee on some flights. So if the price goes down, you get some money back.
Oh, that's cool.
But you have to look for that little logo, whatever it is. It's like,
Probably says price guarantee.
yes, it does. Whoa,
We are breaking ground today.
You know what? You are on a roll today.
Nobel Prize heading my way for this show.
This is a heartwarming story. A 42-year-old mom was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease, and she couldn't speak because it was attacking some nerve cells in her brain. So she went to 11 labs and sent them a whole bunch of voice recordings of herself. And then they turned it into a text-to-speech AI program. So now she can, on her phone, say what she wants to say, and then it says it for her.
Oh, that's great.
In her voice. Isn't it something?
Look, everybody who hates technology and AI and all that stuff, there's a good use of it.
And she can also type with her eyes.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. Make it,
I can barely type with my fingers. Good for her.
You can barely do math. Apple Intelligence, you don't care because you have that Samsung.
Yes.
That's super duper Samsung. You just love that phone, my green bubble friend.
I hate it.
Apple Intelligence is going to be hitting October 23rd. We have a new iPad mini with an A17 Pro chip. It's going to drop on October 28th.
Will Apple Intelligence be an update?
Yes.
And if you don't have the side button, will you still get it?
No.
No. Okay. So it's only for the new phones.
I have it.
Well, of course. You're the digital goddess.
I
You
should
must
have.
have it.
And then there's going to be some new M4 Max. But they say expect some problems with Apple Intelligence because it's still in beta.
On the Mac?
No, anywhere.
Oh, period?
Yeah.
Don't say that. Then don't release it.
I know, but I like the way they say that. In case there are issues, I just want to let you know that Apple Intelligence is still in beta.
Okay. Then make it not in beta and then release it.
I know. Let me tell you something. Green apples are good for you.
Where did this come from?
It's a Granny Smith. Talking about Apple computer, green apples, being a Granny Smith.
I know this show's live, but can we edit that out in post?
Oh, have you ever rented a movie from Redbox, the kiosk?
Maybe one time in my entire life.
Well, they went bankrupt.
Yeah.
And they have about 23 of those red boxes just outside Walgreens.
Just sitting there?
Just sitting there. And so Walgreens, one of the Walgreens that I was reading about is that they are paying with electricity and stuff and security and everything else with this thing, like $186,000 a month.
No, what?
Yeah, I didn't believe that either.
Not that, maybe for all 23? That still sounds crazy.
23,000.
Oh, I thought it was only 23.
You are so bad at math today. What, did you have
I do
coffee?
believe you said 23. I think you said 23.
No, I said 23,000.
Okay. Okay. Well, then that number works if it's 23,000 of those red boxes.
No, it's not. They were saying just for one location. I don't know. The reason why I bring this up is that inside the red box, guess what there is?
DVDs.
Hard drives.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And so if you ever you ever rented anything, on that hard drive is your name, your email address, your rental history, your home address, and maybe other details.
Well, why doesn't the company go out and pick them all up?
Because they went bankrupt.
So can I go pick it up?
You can, but I understand that they weigh like thousands of pounds, and they're locked down because they didn't just want anybody to come by and pick it up.
Sure.
And so it's like bolted to the ground, electricity, and all this other stuff.
So they're just going to sit there forever?
Until somebody decides to pick them up. If you want one, I think people are saying that if you want one, that you could just like knock on Walgreens' door and say, you know what, I'll go take this away from you.
I want to try it.
You should.
I mean, it's full of DVDs.
Yeah. So now the question is, who owns those DVDs? That's another legal issue.
Who owns it?
Yeah, Redbox does, but they went bankrupt.
Right.
So I think
So that's an asset, though. Wouldn't the court say that the bankruptcy court say there's something they have to do with all these assets?
No, because it's, I guess.
It's interesting. I didn't even thought about it. But I also haven't seen one in like forever.
There's one on the Walgreens on 44th Street and Camelback. No, Indian School. I'm sorry.
Just go get a big bolt cutter and just stand out there and see what they do when you try and steal it.
What's Carrie doing? Carrie, come on, get a job for you later. Carrie and me, we're going to go do that. We're going to do that. Okay, I have a joke, but this is a funny one.
Okay.
And this is one that you're gonna really want to share. Okay? Because I know are you ready for it?
I'm focused.
Because we're talking about movies.
Right.
Okay.
This is the tie-in.
Okay. It has some numbers in it, so you're gonna have to pay attention.
Buckle in.
What has 19 actors, 3 settings, 2 writers, and 1 plot?
I don't know what.
617 Hallmark Christmas movies.
That's good. I like
thought
that
that
one.
was a good
I'll
one,
use
too.
that one for sure.
It's Kim Commando today. It's your fun podcast about everything digital, because we always want to make sure whenever you look at anything that we do that you're always tech ahead and you're not buffering in the past. Do you notice that? Did you see that?
A little twist on your tech left behind.
Yeah, but buffering. See, like buffering in the past.
I understood it.
It's like just
Do you want us to throw a parade?
That I came up with something good?
Yeah. Oh, there's a standing ovation happening back in the studios.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kim.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, if you haven't already, make sure that you enter to win the iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence. Go to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. All right, what do you got?
So there's a woman on Instagram. She's got like 380,000 followers.
A little bit more than I do.
Former teacher. And she's pretty popular. She does these funny skits, and her videos get tons of views. Except about 10 weeks ago, everything started changing. Because she is an active person in American politics.
Okay.
And she was putting up videos about people voting. Not who you should vote for, what you should vote for, just voting. Going out and vote, being part of the process.
So she's encouraging you to go vote?
Correct.
Okay.
And what she noticed is that those videos got way less views than any video she would put up. Now, is it possible it's the content because it's not her normal stuff?
Yeah.
Is it possible the quality because people are expecting one thing from her?
Maybe.
But she went to a blogger for the Washington Post and asked him, is Instagram looking into this and doing something about these posts? And the answer turns out to be they are.
They are?
Yeah. Meta,
What are they doing?
Meta is not pushing any Instagram video, any Facebook video that has to do with politics. They are not forcibly putting in front of people that they would in the past. So much so to the tune of 60% less.
Really?
Yes, and it's not just her, where she talks about, being a teacher and doing comedy skits with being a teacher, and then the politics is an outlier. They're doing it with political accounts as well. They did an examination of 5 of the top, doesn't matter what party it is, just 5 of the top political website, Instagram pages, and they are down 40% since the summer.
So, okay.
Which doesn't make any sense because right now the interest would be with the election just weeks away.
Okay. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Why do you think that Meta is doing this on both Facebook and Instagram?
Because one election ago, they got really in trouble for getting involved and pushing things about the politics, misinformation.
Yes.
They went in front
news.
of Congress. And they're just probably saying to themselves, hey, we're going to not get in that trouble anymore. So we're just going to dial it back, and we're going to show with intention that we are dialing it back. So if anybody calls us out again, we can say, no, we didn't. We were suppressing those videos.
Well, because also you have like the Russian and Chinese influencers. I mean, they're coming in and pretending to take one side or the other when all it is just disinformation.
Right.
So good idea or bad?
I mean, Meta, and we've already known that Meta can do whatever they want. And I think they're just covering their own butts, to be honest with you. I think that's why they're dialing it back. And when they looked at the study and the examination of what was going on, the word vote was the number one thing that was suppressed. It had the biggest decrease in being pushed to the followers and users of the accounts if it had the word vote in it.
So that whole idea that I have on Instagram where I want you to vote on a scale of 1 to 10 on how wonderful I am because I use the word vote.
Just use a different one.
Oh, just
Rate?
say rate.
You go with rate me on a scale of 10, 1 to 10?
I wouldn't do that. I mean, it would be on a scale between 8 and 9 and 10.
No,
I mean,
you wouldn't do that. You would just say you ran into Whitney in the street and she said you're a 10.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Whitney is a real person.
There's 2 Whitneys now. Which one's real and which one's fake?
They are both real.
I don't believe you for a second.
Whitney, you didn't even believe there was one Whitney.
A month ago, you said you're bringing Whitney in or you're bringing in evidence. Where is it? Haven't seen it.
I'm working on it.
Did you hear that breath and that pause? That silence? One of 2 things happened. A, Whitney doesn't exist. B, she totally forgot, and now she's yelling at herself for forgetting.
No, not at all.
No.
That is not true.
What a retort. I know you are, but what am I?
God, I hate you.
I know.
It's Kim Commando today. It's your podcast about everything digital. Here's the deal. We are taking questions by voice memos. And I've been getting a whole bunch of really great ones. And so what you do is you do a voice memo on your phone, and then you send it to me to podcasts with an S at commando.com. Now, this is for audio. I don't know what part people are missing, but then you're sending me your questions. Okay, the whole idea is that we can play your question here on the podcast. I don't want to read your emails. Okay?
Right. You want a different, it's called an actuality. It's to spice it up. It's better the delivery method. And if you just type out a question, you've been able to send Kim a question through email
Forever.
Yes, exactly.
Forever.
This is different.
It's like podcasts at commando.com. And it would be really great if you could leave your name or actually put your name and city at the front.
Okay.
So a lot of people are sending questions. They're like, then they don't say who they are.
Right.
Or where they're from. And then we got to like write you back. And then it just becomes a pain in the neck. Or
why don't you just make up a name? Call him Whitney like you do everybody else that you make up.
You know what?
Yeah.
There is a Whitney.
I know. I believe you, Kim.
There is.
I'm winking if you're just listening on the audio version.
Whitney, I need you to help me out. Come on, you're my friend. Come
Sorry.
on.
Go ahead. Go back to the plug.
No, now you just
I just ruined
hurt my heart.
All right. Well, I'll tell you something else then.
Okay.
People are leaving Twitter, and they're all up in arms that X made a change.
About the blocking thing.
First of all, the fact that people are so outraged and they're like, this is going to cause harassment. And what about the stalkers? What happened was Elon Musk came out and said, if you block someone, they're changing what happens. Normally, if I were to block Kim, she wouldn't be able to see my stuff. I wouldn't be able to see her stuff.
Correct.
She couldn't DM me. She couldn't comment on my posts. We would not exist to each other on the platform of X.
Oh, what a great idea.
And what they've changed it to is if I block Kim, she can still see my stuff, but she can't DM me and she can't comment on my posts. And everybody's like, oh my God, it's the stalkers. There's going to be harassment.
It's going to be
my
terror.
gosh. If I block Kim and she wanted to see my stuff, she would just go into one of her other 37 accounts she has on X and go look at my stuff.
I only have one, just to let you know.
But that's, in reality,
You could go get another one.
there's no such thing as a block. I have multiple accounts on X and I don't even use X.
Why don't you use X?
It's just not for me. It's too mean.
It's very mean.
It's so negative. Even when someone posts something extremely positive, all the comments are just mean.
Yeah, no, it's and I when somebody leaves me a mean comment, I block them.
Well, it doesn't matter now. They can see all your stuff and they're going to harass you. They're going to stalk you.
But I just because what I get for mean is like, oh, Kim Commando, you don't know what you're talking about,
Right.
blah blah blah. Or I get oh, that's because, Facebook is paying you. I'm like, where the hell did that come from? And sometimes
She wishes.
So yeah, sometimes I want to reach out back and go like, what part of this did you actually think would be remotely true?
Right.
Maybe I should do that. I should create a little GIF that does that.
But it just spurs them on.
That's
It's just
true.
going to make them do it more. And I understand there's a bunch of trolls on the internet everywhere, but I believe they're way more on X than any other platform. And that's why I'm not a user. But this block isn't changing anything.
Well, they say that everybody's going to Blue Sky.
But that was the one thing, is that I don't understand why everybody's reacting the way they are, but they are leaving X to go to Blue Sky.
I think it's the natural transition of things on the internet. I mean,
Okay.
what's hot, not hot, not. I mean, people have their 15 minutes of fame. I'm sure there are a whole bunch of people who say oh, I'm not giving Elon Musk any more money.
Right.
I hate Elon Musk, whatever it may be.
But it was 500,000 people joined Blue
In one
Sky
day.
in one day.
So we have a Blue Sky account. I've never signed in.
No.
Have
but
you?
you have it to have. No, I've never used it.
I think we're gonna. Ian does our social media, so I told Ian to take a look at it and see if it was something that we should do.
Okay.
Because he's a Gen Z. He should know this stuff, right?
Right.
I mean, not like me.
But Gen Zers don't even use X, right?
No, they're all on Instagram and Snap.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's an older generation, a lot older and angrier generation that uses X right now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've been. So I stopped paying for that blue check mark.
Oh, okay. But did you have a check mark before you could pay it?
No, I didn't.
So you never were verified.
No, I could
but
never
you don't
get
use the
verified.
platform. That doesn't surprise me.
But I could never get verified.
Okay.
I mean, for some reason, they just never would. And so I figured, well, you know what? I'll buy that stupid blue check mark for $8 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, I know I'm so weird. I mean, I know it's only $8 a month, but I'm like, if it doesn't do anything, then why am I paying it?
Right. Well, that's fine. I mean, you have 312 air conditioners for your house. You should find some places to save some money.
918 smart devices. Like that, who thought that would be a good idea?
But if you don't use X, why was it important to have the blue check mark? I'm just curious.
Because I thought it would help us maybe gain more followers.
Okay.
Show up in feeds more often as recommended.
Well, I mean, if you're paying for it, you'd think that they would
But
push
nothing
you.
ever happened.
No, okay.
No, nothing ever happened. And then now LinkedIn is pushing for the verification. So I did that.
Okay.
And
Does that cost money?
no, I don't think so.
Okay.
But they asked for different. It was kind of a weird thing because they couldn't verify me for a while because I write for Fox News.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well I don't have a foxnews.com email address, so it wouldn't verify me. But
Right.
now it's I guess they figure, you know what? Well, we're going to let that go. So
Whatever. Just verify her.
it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter in the end.
So you should try Blue Sky.
All right, I'll
Just
download
try
it.
it for a couple of days, and
See
then
if it's less negative.
and then next week we can get an honest to goodness review.
Report back.
Does not require math.
I'm good at math. I don't know where this talking point came from.
Well, because it's like,
But
why-
Adam's stuck. I don't want this one to stick.
I mean, just because it's like, I'm like, the flights are cheaper. And you're like, oh, because they're less expensive. Why are they cheaper? Because they're less expensive. I mean, you got to admit, that's kind of a dumb move.
It was, I'm dumb all the time.
Hey, it's Kim Commando today. It's your great podcast about all things digital. And don't forget to like, comment, share. Joining us now is Paul Crucius. He is the founder of Here.com. And I know what you're thinking, like, oh my gosh, is she talking about hearing aids? You know, it's interesting because I am. Because I wanted to know more about the technology. And in full disclosure, Here.com is a sponsor of our newsletters and our show. But I think you're really going to enjoy meeting Paul and finding out how Here.com got started. So, hey, Paul, thanks for being here. How the heck did you come up with the idea for Here.com? And by the way, great domain name. Glad you got that one.
Hey, Kim, thank you so much for having me. I mean, hearing aids, I was lucky enough to work on a project in hearing care as a management consultant for a very brief amount of time. And I just got hooked by the industry and by the task at hand. Yeah, more than 80% of the people who have a hearing loss in the world do not have a solution, although the solutions out there really work in a fantastic way and are affordable. And that gap fascinates me to this day, and I love working on it. And so we built Here.com to help more people with their hearing loss.
Just
as simple as that.
Sorry to interrupt. Can we get you to step back a little bit, Paul, from the video? We're just getting a really close shot of your face.
Okay, that's good.
Sorry about the interruption.
So Paul, when we're talking about hearing aids, how do they work? I mean, without getting overly technical and all detailed, I mean, what's the basic premise of a hearing aid?
So the basic premise is that we gather sound, the chip gathers sound through microphones, then processes these sounds and puts them through speakers into your ear again. Now, the difficulty is why that is hard is you have to build very tiny technology. It has to fit into your ear because that's where you want to have the sound, the speaker. And then what's also very hard is that you want to separate the sound from sound you want, voices, and sound that you don't want, background noise. And that's a very tough thing to compute in a very small space. So whatever, let's say, development we see in chips and in software translates also in the further development of hearing aids because it's a very specific chip and software setup.
So the difference in the size of the chip has enabled the hearing aids to be a lot smaller, right? And almost invisible.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember years ago, my grandfather had one, and boy, it was like this big honker on his ear. It's like, whoa, okay.
Absolutely, and exactly what you're mentioning here is still one of the biggest impediments, barriers to hearing care adoption. It's actually that mental image that many people have in their heads of this flesh, skin-colored, clunky thing that used to be a hearing aid, but is not a hearing aid anymore. Today's hearing aids are completely invisible, and they are tiny. They weigh maybe a gram and are the size of a coffee bean, so basically not visible.
Wow. I mean, that's amazing. You know, and I will tell you that, you know, you are a sponsor of the show and the newsletter, and we've been getting so many great comments. I don't know if you heard about the gentleman who wrote me, and he's been trying to get the right hearing aids for about 15 years. And he keeps buying them. He throws them in the drawer. So just buys them, throws them in the drawer. Buys another one, buys another one. Really couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. And went to audiologists and doctors and everything like that. He was on the phone with one of your reps. And I think he was actually a physician he was on the phone with from your company.
Yeah.
And the gentleman said, you know what? I don't know if our hearing aids are going to be good enough for you because I think you have something else going on. I want you to go get an MRI and then call us back. Guy goes out, gets an MRI, comes back. Turns out he has a tumor, a brain tumor.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what customer service is that? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we're not going to sell you a hearing aid. We want you to go figure out what your problem is and then come back. You know, and I think, you know, the stories that we've been getting, that's why I wanted you on the air with us today, because, you know, when you start talking about your five senses, I can tell you that I had a corneal transplant about 1.5 years ago. And I went from 2400 in my right eye to now 2060 without any type of corrective lens. And when I put in a hard contact lens, I can see 20/20. And when I put that hard contact lens on, I started crying because
Believe you.
I hadn't really seen the world for so long, and I didn't realize what exactly I was missing, because it's like this was my new normal. So you know, so if I go to pick up a glass of wine, people say, and I would spill, to be like, oh, she drank too much. I'm like, no, I really couldn't. I didn't have the depth perception. You know, I really didn't. I wasn't drunk, I swear. So do you find that people who get hearing aids have a similar experience?
No, you hit the nail on the head. It is so often it's exactly what you described with your vision. We've seen, I mean, crying customers is almost, don't want to say it like that, but it is very frequent. Yeah, it's a very normal thing, because you really get people, you get them back into life. Yeah, we sometimes write about how life-changing hearing aids are, and they really are, because you not being able to hear is what they say. It really separates you from people, and if you manage to get someone back into the conversation, the individual is more of herself, more of himself again, and you're basically not changing only one life. We typically change 10 lives with a pair of hearing aids, because there's friends, families, and everyone responds really well to that individual being back into his full force, being back into life, living life to the fullest. And that's what really hearing aids do for you. Exactly the same way you described it. So it's a very common thing. Yeah.
Well, and it seems that, you know, people will say, like, you know, what'd you say? Can you repeat that? And, you know, and I know my husband has some hearing loss from having worn headphones his whole life, and at a really high volume. And, you know, he'll say to me, you know, I don't want to go to that restaurant because it's too noisy. Or, you know, you need to sit on this side of me. And I keep saying, you know what, you need to get a hearing aid, you know? And he's like, but, you know, he's still of that macho thing, like, no, you know, I don't need that. I'm like, it's not the stigma that it used to be.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. Although we would still like say, I mean, we've seen this. It is still the biggest stigma, or the biggest reason why people are not getting hearing care is exactly this stigma that they perceive. It makes absolutely no sense. A good friend of mine and customer, he once said, Paul, you know what? I thought, business guy, banker, that it is just stupid how my ego got into my way.
Yeah, that's true.
I cannot believe it. It was me. And the interesting thing is, we see that females sometimes tend to be a bit more preventive, or a bit more earlier in that adoption, that realization. Maybe it helps that the hearing aids are definitely invisible also with the long hair. I don't know, but what they are taking more care of themselves. So the men, they wait a bit longer until they get hearing care. And quite often with a man, it's very effective to talk about these studies that show that hearing care, if you have a hearing loss, hearing devices will help you come across mentally fitter. Yeah, it will really help your cognitive performance.
see
And
that.
there've been huge studies proving that over and over. Yeah, it's actually the one lever that you can pull to reduce your risk of dementia is getting hearing aids if you have a hearing loss. Right, so there's very, very clear objective reasons to do it and do it as early as possible.
I'm going to use that.
We say,
I'm going to choose this with it.
We say there's actually people are afraid that they're marked old and unproductive with hearing aids, but truly the opposite is true. They are more, faster on the ball. They are more present, if they hear really well and hear every word of a conversation. We see that all the time. People are getting back more into social environments and just are more of themselves. And that's really what you want in the entire family as well.
And so let's talk about the technology inside the hearing aid.
Yes.
We understand how they work because we went through that. It's amplifying the sound, trying to figure out what's background noise, what's the important noise, how do we separate that, how do we filter it so that in this little tiny gadget, like you said, the size of a coffee bean, that we're able to do all this processing. What was the big breakthrough that allowed this to really happen and to make it as small as it is right now?
The biggest breakthrough of the last years was the dual processing, that you now could fit 2 chips into one hearing aid, into that small size, to that small housing. Because these 2 chips, this dual processing technology, allows us now delivering this really crisp sound of the voices that you want to hear. And the other chip is purely focused and programmed to take out the unwanted noises, to reduce the background noise in all sorts of situations, right? And it gets very complicated for these chips if you're moving around, if you have multiple conversation partners, if you have different types of noises, frequencies coming from all basically geographic directions around you. So if you have these 2 processors, you in a very high speed, you get voice cleared, amplified, and background noise reduced. And the entire experience comes across very, very naturally. And that's also something that you really want, because you're wearing these devices for 12, 15 hours a day. Typically people forget them when they go into the shower because it's such a normal process for them to wear them. And so you really want to make sure that these devices are delivering for 12, 15 hours and even more on a single battery charge, and are a part of you, that you don't realize them. Much like glasses that you ideally forget immediately once you put them on.
Which is true. I mean, how many times have I've heard from people around, where are my glasses? I'm like, they're on you. Just want to right on your face.
Exactly.
So with Here, is this a company that you started? Is there VC money behind it?
Yes. So we started, the 2 of us, actually in a Starbucks in Berlin, Germany. So I got together with a good friend of studies from university, Marco, my co-founder. We know each other for a very long time, since we started university. I was just excited about the opportunity in hearing care and what the internet actually as a first starting point for consumers could do. And very fast, we put up a website, funded that with our own money. Then we went on the phone actually and consulted customers to see the best hearing care providers that we could find in the country. That worked really nicely. So within half a year, we got VC money, and then scaled into 3 other countries within the year after that. And then we were at a point where we had developed a telehealth solution that even would allow us to deliver hearing care, medical grade hearing care, in areas where there's no audiologist present, just through a video system that does the hearing test and the video interaction, just like we are talking here with the consumer, so you can really fit hearing aids completely remotely. That is what we've developed in the first 3 years. That was VC funded, but then we were at a level of maturity where we got a private equity partner in and scaled the company from there into the US. That was in 2015. We started in Miami, Florida. Right now, I'm sitting in our office in Denver, Colorado. And by now, the US is by far our largest market worldwide. And it's a lot of fun. We're in 8 markets right now. Hearing care is very similar, actually. You wouldn't believe, in India, Korea, Germany, US. At the end of the day, it's about delivering quality hearing care because it's so, as you mentioned, 5 senses. It has to be you. You have to solve it just right, for people to actually benefit from it and live a change in a better life. Yeah.
You see, the telehealth part is interesting to me because, I mean, that's pretty innovative in 2015 to think like, how can I fit somebody with a hearing aid without actually being present with them? You must have had some pretty decent challenges when you were first setting that up, right?
Yeah, no, it was really challenging. We went actually into Malaysia to do that because we felt that this was the right size of an economy and like a hearing aid area where there's only in the very big cities you have some audiologists, but the rest of the country basically has no professional hearing care. And we said, okay, this is the market right there to prove that this technology can work. We built our own hardware. We a tablet PCs. We added our diagnostic equipment, but this was still very, very basic. But it worked almost from the get-go.
Nice.
Beautifully. And I remember the first fittings that we've done. They were in a way magical, like in Asia, the family is very important. Hearing care is a family decision. So we would go on video like we do, and you would not only see your customer, but you would see the entire family gathered around the couch table, and you would start the procedure and talking with them about their hearing loss and then doing the hearing test and fitting the devices, and then they would run around with that tablet and put it on a piano and then play, and you would fine tune the device. So you actually get with telehealth, you get to fit the devices in an even more precise way because the customers where he's using the devices most, which is often at home or at least around his home, and you can specifically fine tune the devices for that experience. So very early, we were galvanized by this because we said this is actually the best way to fit. Customers are very happy and they're super relaxed. They're sitting like you are sitting now, right? Really at home in a place they know well. And that helps also with the adoption of care because there's a lot of things going on and people think, is this the right thing for me? And so on. So you really want to be sure that the customer is at ease and at the place where he sees the benefit or experiences the benefits right away. And that's typically from the comfort of your couch at home.
For sure. What was the moment where you sat back and you said, because we as entrepreneurs, we always have these moments, I mean, I can tell you in the beginning, we were pouring money into this whole venture here and like, I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to work. And then there's that time where it's like, you know what? I think this is going to work. I mean, I could tell you for us, it was probably about 3 years into it when we landed some major stations like WLS in Chicago and Cairo in Seattle and WTIC in Hartford and KOA in Denver and all these other different places. And then it's like, okay, I'm starting to see some momentum here. What was that moment for you guys?
I'd say that there are multiple moments of where the belief gets just much stronger, like these milestones. I mean, the very first one was the first day we launched the website and customers called and wanted advice, and you got the feeling that they trust our advice and they go and see us to get hearing care. That was number one. That was in the very early days. You had like, okay, this is actually a business. Don't know how big it can be, but it is a proper business. Then the next one was when we got some scale and you said, oh, we're actually doing dozens of customers per day. And it's not only working in Germany, it's also working in the Netherlands. The moment after that was the moments I just described with the telehealth solution. Oh gosh, this is working in Malaysia. Same hearing aids, similar conversation. And then I think the proof point after that was, oh, it's working in the biggest healthcare market in the world. It's working with the Here.com name in the US fabulously. And thereafter, I would say it's the rapid adoption of telehealth in the US, in particular post the pandemic.
For sure.
Because suddenly Zoom video was something that everyone wanted to do and could do.
Which I'm sure that helped you guys out tremendously. I mean,
absolutely right. Yeah.
It was no longer like, well, wait, you want me to get on a video and talk to you? Like
exactly.
No, you can actually do this. Well, what I like about the feedback that I'm getting from your customers is that it's life changing. I like to see what we do in dispensing digital information. Keeping people safe from scammers and hackers and stalkers or the other day I got a note from a woman who her husband passed away in June, and she was listening to the show, and I was talking about how to save old voicemails, and so now she listens to her husband's voice every morning when she gets up. So it's those type of things, and you guys are changing lives too. Is there a standout moment where you're like, we really did something amazing for this particular person?
I mean, I had a screenshot sent to me recently that describes what we do, and I use it so often with the team now. A screenshot of an iMessage group of 6 individuals, and you see a picture of grandpa sitting on the couch with his grandson on his lap. And then you see a heart emoji, and it basically says, "Hey, Pops, welcome back. We missed you."
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
And I mean, things like that, you look at this, you get goosebumps, and like, okay, that's exactly why we get up in the morning and hustle. We love this. We love our space. We love, getting better at what we do, delivering more happiness and changing more lives. It's worthwhile, right? To spend your time on that, and it's beautiful to get that sort of feedback like you do with a fantastic show that you're doing.
Well, Paul, thank you for being here. Thank you for telling us more about the tech inside and how Here.com is operating, and it's really wonderful work that you guys and gals are doing there, and it's rewarding to have a partner like you guys, because you do change lives. And I am going to have my talk with my husband and tell
Absolutely. him. Absolutely. I give you my direct number.
Okay.
And then we take care of this.
I'm just, I'm going to tell him, listen, if you get dementia, I'm not taking care of you. Okay, I will, but I'm gonna throw it at him.
My God!
Just to have him have that shock, like, oh no. Okay, Paul, thanks again for being here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for all you do.
And for everybody else who's watching on YouTube, we appreciate you. And if you get the podcast in the audio version, you can always check it out, youtube.com/Kim Commando. And if you're on YouTube, you can always get the audio only version in your favorite podcast player.